Welcome to Dark Legends, where we uncover the mysteries that history tried to keep hidden. In the vibrant yet shadowy landscape of 1960s London, where post-war vitality clashed with the gritty undertones of an underworld in flux, two brothers rose to an infamous prominence that would redefine celebrity and criminality. Ronnie and Reggie Kray, identical twins, built an empire that became as legendary as the era itself, a stark embodiment of an age where the lines between law and respectability blurred beneath the allure of power and fear. Born in 1933, in the austere surroundings of East London's Hoxton, Ronnie and Reggie were thrust early into a world where resilience was not just a trait, but a necessity. Their father, Charles, a merchant seaman, was often absent, a spectral figure in the backdrop of their formative years, while their mother, Violet, dominated their early world. Her fierce determination and unwavering loyalty to her sons would imprint upon them a robust sense of family and an unyielding drive for respect. In the shadow of economic depression, the twins grew up with a stark awareness of their social standing. School for the Krays was less about academic pursuit and more about the school of hard knocks, where they quickly learned that a quick fist or a sharp wit could provide what respectability often withheld from the likes of them. They were not just participants in the rough-and-tumble street life of Hoxton, they were its champions. By their teenage years, the twins had garnered a local reputation as formidable young men. Their foray into serious crime began not out of necessity, but as a natural progression of their environment and ambitions. Petty thefts and running protection rackets for local shops laid the groundwork for what would become a criminal enterprise. As the 1950s gave way to the 1960s, the twins saw opportunities in the shifting social and economic landscape of London. They were quick to move beyond the small time. Protection rackets soon turned into club ownership, a move that would open doors to the city's rich and famous, providing the perfect cover for more lucrative and diverse criminal activities. Their first nightclub, the Double R, became a base of operations. Here, amidst the clink of glasses and the soft whispers of the Jazz Age reborn, the Krays expanded their reach. They weren't just enforcing through brute strength, they were seducing the city's elite, weaving themselves into the fabric of London society. Through these clubs, they laundered money, brokered illegal deals, and solidified their status as untouchable lords of the underworld. Ronnie and Reggie understood the power of image early on. They cultivated a persona that blended charm with menace. To the public and the media, they were charismatic club owners and local celebrities. To the underworld, they were ruthless leaders, feared and respected in equal measure. This duality kept them protected from the law, with many in power, either on their payroll or partaking in their hosted extravagances. By the mid-1960s, the Kray twins had ascended to the zenith of their power, mastering the art of living in the limelight while orchestrating their empire from the shadows. Their influence permeated every layer of London society, entwining with both the glamorous elite and the gritty underworld. Ronnie and Reggie were more than just notorious gangsters. They were celebrities in their own right, mingling with film stars, politicians, and even international figures. Their nightclubs, buzzing with the era's most influential personalities, served as the perfect cover for numerous illicit activities. Behind the velvet ropes and champagne flutes, the twins conducted their real business, the business of control and corruption. The Krays expanded their operations beyond traditional rackets into more sophisticated realms, including real estate and high-stakes gambling. They orchestrated a series of high-profile heists and enforced monopolies in various illegal commodities. Their method of blending legitimate business fronts with their criminal undertakings allowed them to launder money and fund their lavish lifestyles. Throughout this period, the twins skillfully manipulated public perception, using their celebrity status to craft an image of untouchable charm. The media, enchanted by their charisma and intrigued by their notoriety, often portrayed them more as mischievous rogues than dangerous criminals. This public image was a carefully constructed facade, behind which they maintained strict control through fear and violence. But the higher the rise, the steeper the fall. The very public life that had protected the Krays began to unravel as the consequences of their actions caught up with them. Their reign of intimidation and violence could only be sustained for so long before turning into their downfall. The first signs of their crumbling empire appeared when their methods started to fail. Former allies turned into liabilities, and the loyalty they had commanded through fear began to waver. The media, once a helpful ally, started to probe deeper into the rumors of their criminal activities, spurred on by an increasingly bold law enforcement push. The turning point came with the brutal murder of a major rival gang leader, a reckless act committed in broad daylight. This act of violence was too flagrant to ignore and became the catalyst for their undoing. It galvanized the police and the public alike, leading to a relentless pursuit that the Krays could no longer evade. The arrest of Ronnie and Reggie Kray was as dramatic as any of their previous exploits. Early morning raids caught them off guard, a rare slip in their otherwise cautious public dealings. The trial that followed was a spectacle, drawing attention from all over the world. It exposed the depth of their criminal network and the brutality of their rule. Convicted on multiple counts of murder, the twins were sentenced to life imprisonment, marking the end of an era. The Krays' iron grip on London's criminal underworld may have ended the moment the cell doors clanged shut, but their influence did not fade so easily. Even in prison, Ronnie and Reggie remained notorious, their names still whispered in both fear and fascination. For Ronnie, diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, his mental health deteriorated further within the confines of Broadmoor Hospital. His violent tendencies continued, and his erratic behavior became legendary among fellow inmates and guards alike. Reggie, on the other hand, maintained a more composed demeanor, though the isolation took its toll. His letters from prison became public and reflected a man torn between regret and his undying loyalty to the legacy he and his brother had built. Even behind bars, the Krays managed to maintain connections with the outside world. Their celebrity status attracted media attention, and they were visited by film stars, musicians, and even politicians. Their stories became tabloid gold, and even in captivity, they reveled in the notoriety that followed them. Their time in prison was not without moments of control. Reggie continued to have a say in some criminal activities, although diminished through his connections. The Krays' name still carried weight, even as their empire crumbled outside. The legacy of the Kray twins is complex and multifaceted. Long after their imprisonment and subsequent deaths, their story continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. They are seen both as products of their environment and architects of their own demise, a dichotomy that prompts reflection on the nature of crime and celebrity. Their life story has inspired countless books, films, and documentaries, each attempting to unravel the enigma of their dual roles as both gangsters and celebrities. The fascination with the Krays speaks to a broader cultural obsession with the figure of the outlaw hero, a character who defies the law but captures the imagination of the public. In the end, the story of Ronnie and Reggie Kray serves as a cautionary tale about the limits of ambition and the cautionary of infamy. It challenges us to consider the price of power and the legacy we leave behind. Their rise and fall underscore a timeless question. At what cost does one pursue their ambitions? And what is the true price of a legacy built on fear?